right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Beyond Your Horizon podcast. I am your host, Jon John. Jon John, the right size for fun, if you ever catch me doing comedy. But today, I am the host of this podcast, and I have with me someone I am very, very happy about being a guest on this show because I know that they are going to give us what we need in this time, okay? And that is someone that goes by the name of Adrian Moore. He's a pastor. If you follow him on social media, you know him as Adrian the Optimist. He is a singer. He's a songwriter. He's a performer. He's a dad. He is a lot of things, Adrian. So Adrian, welcome to Beyond Your Horizon podcast. How you feeling this morning?
John, thank you so much. I feel great. It's great to reconnect with you again in this way. I mean, we're never not connected, but it feels really good to be in your element. So I'm excited about this, being in your thing and a part of what you're doing. So I feel great.
Nice. Well, I'm definitely happy to have you a part of this. Yeah, you're right. Like you and I, we're those friends that we don't have to talk all the time,
Right.
but whenever we do talk, we're like I guess we are the typical man friends.
Right.
We don't talk all the time. We can go months, years even, but whenever we do talk, it's like we've never stopped. We just keep it going, right?
Exactly.
And so I'm really happy to hear about like what's all going on in your life. I know a little bit about it, but just introduce yourself to the people who are just getting to know who Adrian Moore is. How would you describe yourself?
Sure. I'm Adrian Moore. I am a child of God, singer, songwriter, producer, arranger, and as you said, I'm an ordained minister. I'm a pastor of Total Impact Church Center for Conscious Living. And I'm just glad to be a contributor to life right now. I'm just glad to be in spaces where I can contribute and can give. And
Yeah. Give the name of your ministry again. Total Impact.
Absolutely. Total Impact Church Center for Conscious Living. So right now we're online every Sunday. We're online via Zoom every Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay, and Total Impact Center of Conscious Living. All right. So what is the mission of your organization? That because I know that sounds different. That ain't your typical Baptist or non-denominational. You're doing Total Center of Conscious Living. Like, what does that even mean?
Sure. So Center of Conscious Living. So the conscious living part is a tag from our philosophy. Our philosophy at Total Impact Church is principles of conscious living. And so Principles of Conscious Living is a Bible-based new thought philosophy that was given to me, and that was comprised of 5 specific principles. Those 5 principles are the principle of divine union, the principle of divine nature, the principle of visualization, the principle of prayer, and the principle of power. And so through those 5 principles, we help to empower individuals by helping them to recognize the presence of God that is within them, because we believe that the presence of God, the presence of divine, is in all of us. And so our philosophy is a tool to help to focus on that, to maximize that for the individual so that the individual can be the expression of God that they are.
Love it. And you said everyone has this potential. And it's great that you are in the ministry of awakening that within everyone. And I've always known you to be that kind of person. I have been a part of your ministry when you were here in Atlanta.
Yes.
I have been to your ministry. I've sung along with you. And I can honestly say that you strive to live the life that you preach about and what you believe. And it is just a joy to watch you do what you do.
Thank you.
Yes, yes,
Thank you, John. Thank
yes.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, and so outside of that, leading your own congregation and ministry, and I know that's open to anybody. So if any of you want to join into those services, I'm sure Pastor Moore will be glad to have you a part of that. But outside of that church, the ministry as well, you're also a singer songwriter,
Yes.
right? And I
Yes.
know you go back. You go back. So let's talk about that part of you. Like, when did you your origin story of music, like when you picked
Sure.
up an instrument, when you began singing? Yeah, give us that.
Well, so I, being raised in church all of my life and around music all of my life, specifically my musical origin, I'll trace it back to uh, 1976 when
Mm,
my father, it seemed like between 75 and 76, a lot of things happened musically. My father certain albums into the house when I was 5 and 6. He brought into the house uh, Walter Hawkins, Love Alive One. He brought into the house Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. And he brought into the house Andre Crouch and the Disciples' uh, greatest hits at that time. I think it was called the greatest hits. And I listened to those albums over and over and over. I remember, so I'm in the '70s we had, we played music on what was called a hi-fi, short for high
mm,
fidelity. This big, like a almost like a dresser with a record player and a radio combined inside of it. And so, being 5 and 6, I had to ask permission. Like, I couldn't play it. I always had to ask my mom, "Mom, can you play this for me so I can listen to it?" And I
mm,
can see myself sitting by that speaker, listening to Love Alive One, Walter Hawkins. I mean, I can see it right now. I remember the address. I remember I can go right to the house. I see myself sitting there with, especially when he brought in Stevie's Songs in the Key of Life, just listening and looking at the album covers. I consumed that music. And Andre Crouch and the Disciples, I consumed it. It just became a part of my being. Uh, and then not long after that, my father, when he saw my interest, I remember him going and buying me like a little organ and bringing it into the house. And so I began tinkering on that. So my dad invested a lot into me artistically when he saw something that I was drawn to. But that music thing, like I mean, I remember everything was about music. I remember when I would be in the bed during those early years as 5, 6, and 7, and there were times where if music was playing, like if it was bedtime and I heard my parents playing certain music, I focused on it. Like it totally drew my attention. I remember walking through the neighborhood and the sounds. Like, I associate the periods of my life with the music. Walking through the neighborhood, I remember songs and just sounds. There's so much sound around me, and it was just always just a part of me. So that, and then I remember my first solo, the first public appearance. I sang a song. My first lead was a song by Keith Pringle. If y'all remember Keith Pringle,
mm,
it was called Brand New Life. I was like 11 years old. If you want a brand new life and have everything all right, just call on his name, true life you will regain. I remember the song. I mean, it was the first song that I ever. And when I got to the vamp of it, this is when I knew I was working with something. I just started weeping, and I'm like, "Why
mm,
am I crying?" And so when I went back to my seat, I'll never forget Sister Edna Hitchcock. She was one of those classic saints and Sunday school teachers. She leaned over to me and she said, "Sweetheart," she said, "the Lord is blessing you. That's what's happening right now." I'll never forget that. But yeah, so I knew something was happening that I couldn't explain in my connection with music and spirituality at that time. I remember it like it was yesterday. So yeah.
So were your parents musicians and singers?
Not at all.
Not at all. Wow. So you were the first in were you like you did you have
And my
siblings who?
so none of my siblings are musical. None of them. My parents, not at all. But family members, so other family members, my cousins, I had an uncle who was musical. My mom's brother, he was a musician and singer, that kind of thing. And then I had cousins, so it kind of really fell to the cousins of us. Like I have a bunch of
Hmm.
cousins who are musical, but no, my parents not at all, not one drop. As a matter of fact, my mom tells the story that she tells me, and I think I posted this one time, that when she was pregnant with me, she prayed. She told me she prayed that God will give one of her children music, and so my mom, she affirmed, she called that forth. I got to credit my mom in that way. So it's really deep. But what's funny, John, is I've never even thought about that, like where it came from, and I never. I'm so I'm so it's such a part of me. I don't even think about. I only think about the fact that my parents aren't musical if they say it or someone else brings it to my attention. I never even think about it in that way. It's really
Hmm.
wild. Um, but it is. But it is. It's absolutely a gift. It is a gift, and I
Right.
see it. And the older I get, I'm embracing more and more the gift that it is, and that is music and the ability to express it.
Okay, all right. So you're growing up listening to your Walter
Oh
Hawkins
man.
and on the big boy, the hi-fi and
Oh
all that
no.
good stuff
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Another big turning point. This was the other big turning point. A lot happened between 5 and 8. My elementary school in Baltimore, my first elementary school, Gardenville Elementary, and this is and I'm mentioning specific landmarks of that caused me to recognize the gift. In the first grade, my first music teacher, uh, I'll never forget. At my school, he came into the room, and that was when the music teachers would come into your classroom. He came into the room. His name was Mr. Charles, and he's alive to this day. And I've seen him several times over the years. I'm in the classroom with my classmates, but then he goes to teach us a song. He says, "I'm going to teach you this song." And I really wasn't paying attention until he started singing. And when he started singing, he said, "All night, all day, angels watching." Oh, and I turned, and I turned just like I did now, because that was the first time I was outside of church and heard someone mention something that I connected to church, and that it came through music. It blew my head. It went, something went off in my head. Like, whoa. So and I think that was when I realized, well, this thing is bigger than just me being at church. I'm in
Amen.
school. I'm like, what is happening? Like, it was huge.
I understand.
But the other thing was he could sing, and he was a black man. He was a black man, and he had vibrato, what I was used to hearing in church. And and so that you become what you see. I know Quincy Jones talked about
Yes.
that when he was a child. You become what is around you. So that was one of those signposts in life that gave you identity, that gave me identity. And I saw he's a black man. He was young. I'll never forget it. And his voice, it was all of these connections that it was like making that were helping me to shape what would become my identity. Man, powerful. So that was another signpost that helped me to
Okay.
identify with that gift. Sorry to interrupt you, but you just kind of brought
No.
that.
Oh
Yeah,
no. Oh,
yeah,
you're fine. You are fine.
yeah.
Um, thinking about, I know you say you're growing up in Baltimore during this time. I'm actually
Mhm.
reading a book. I was reading a coming of age story. The book is called Black Boy Smile.
Mm.
And the guy is from Baltimore, East Baltimore, I believe. He grew up
Oh,
in East Baltimore.
what's the,
Dwight,
what's his name?
where's my book? Where's my book?
That's
Is it over here?
I think I know that. No, I know that book. Um, I can't remember
B.
his.
Watkins,
Yes, yes,
Black
Black
Boy
Boys. I
Smile.
didn't get over. I didn't get a chance to
Mm-hmm.
read that yet. Wow, nice.
Yeah. He grew up in East
Yeah,
Baltimore.
yeah, 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 yeah.
East Baltimore. Now I
Wow.
don't know if you grew up like him because he definitely grew up in like the hood and selling
Well, I was
drugs
around some
and
hood. I was definitely
okay,
around.
all right,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Oh
good. This
yeah,
is a good question then.
yeah,
So because I know how in a lot of communities, black men, black
yeah.
boys picking music and the
Mm-hmm.
arts was not
Mm-hmm.
always celebrated or encouraged by
Right,
your peers.
right.
So how did you navigate that?
Very good question. Well, I think what the difference for me was mine was shaped in church. Church was such a church and home, those were my contexts. So in church, that was accepted and validated. But
Mm-hmm.
even being in church for me, I was one of the I remember as a child, I was one of the ones who stuck out, who was more forthright with it. So more than being ridiculed, I was looked at with honor. There was a respect about, there was a respect there. So I wasn't ridiculed for that in church. But the interesting thing was in the community. Like I didn't want the community to know that I was going to church at that time. I didn't want that. But when people found out I could sing in the community, like that people they got excited about that, and especially girls wanted me to sing, and so but yeah, but I wasn't. I mean, even in the community, I have to say, in the community, I wasn't ridiculed for it because there were
Good.
there were pockets of context in the community where my singing gift was respected in certain pockets, but not
Mm.
everywhere. But yeah. So different experiences for different folks. But I really believe the church environment was the not I believe, but I know that was my where I spent most of my time.
Yeah. Likewise, the church was a refuge for me as well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because even before I came out,
Hmm.
a lot of the people I would hide behind being in the church because a lot of
Yeah,
people say he ain't gay, he just a church boy. So yeah, so I totally understand the whole church refuge
yeah.
of yeah, you did have this kind of sanctuary if you were a
Right,
church boy
right,
or a church kid. They
right.
they allowed you to be a little more artsy and into the
Right,
music and what and
right,
what and whatnot there.
right, right.
Did you have a go-to song you would sing for the ladies when you were trying to impress them? I know you said that like the ladies love to hear
So,
you
so
say your
I
song.
remember, sure, there was one, I, uh, You and I by Stevie Wonder.
Oh,
Yeah, there was yes, You and I, and I think that that was became popular, and that was a request because of the episode of Good Times when Michael Evans sang it at Thelma's funeral. So because that's where I learned it from. I didn't even when I learned the song, I didn't even know it was Stevie Wonder's song at that time. I got it from watching Good Times because Michael Evans sang it. Yeah, yeah, which is Ralph Carter.
okay.
Yeah. So that was a go-to song. That was definitely it.
That
Yeah,
was it. Okay.
yeah.
So at what point now? So now that you're singing in the church and
Mhm.
you know that you have this gift and talent that you possess. When did you get to a point of saying that I think I can make a career out of this, or I can
Mhm.
not only do this in the church, do it in the you branched out into secular and all of that. How did that come about?
That came about. So specifically moving into secular music, I'll never forget when I was in my first marriage, and I remember she was interesting. I was always not just in church, but I was always very dedicated to my spiritual path. I was always dedicated. I was very dedicated to God, not perfect by any means, but I was very focused and dedicated, a lot more than some of my peers. And so there was sometimes a war going on within me. So I got to and what I mean by that, there was a turmoil of, man, I want to branch out, but I want to obey God. I want to branch out, but I don't want to, I had that thing going on. But I'll never forget in my first marriage, I had three daughters by then, and times were getting, I had a lot of challenges. Times were becoming challenging. I had some financial challenges. And I remember saying, man, I'm not a carpenter. Like I knew a lot of guys, you know how in around the way, different guys would be like, I got a side hustle. My side hustle is I do drywall. I'm a carpenter. I fix cars, to make some extra money. And I said, I remember several times when I would be talking to God, or just talking to myself, I would say, I don't do drywall. I'm not a carpenter. Those aren't my skills. I said, I'm a singer. I'm a musician. I need to be making money. I mean, that was my conversation to myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what needs to be, that needs to be my job. I need to do that. And when I started saying that, things got in motion. And I think the first thing that got in motion was my desire. And so as my desire grew, so from that, I decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create my own open mic. I'm going to find a place where I can put a band together and people will come to see me, and I control that. And I can play. I need
Love
that
it.
outlet. And so there are many steps that led up to that, because I was in choirs and gospel groups and all, but specifically what got me moving into the secular direction, I was just, I think the gift was really just growing inside of me, and I was tired of feeling limited. And what that really taught me, wow, you're really tapping into something here, John. What that really taught me was there's something going on within us beyond what we've been taught. There's something else happening, because something grew. Like something grew in me and increased in me, and it had to express. And I think, the more I engaged that something, the more courage and confidence I gained to move on it, because that's what I did. I moved on it. And next thing I knew, because I moved on it, there was another person, a comrade, who connected with that and helped me bring that to pass. And when I did, it's a very I need to do a book on this, John. Seriously.
You really should. You really, really should. I'll give you the transcript of this podcast. I'll give you the transcript.
Yeah, man. And so that moved into the open mic. And when I did that, I started performing through that, doing more universal kinds of songs. The band grew, and then people started coming, and then people started booking me, to do other events that were not church related. Some church people were coming, but a lot of people from the community would come. And I drew everyone. I drew straight, gay, all religions. Everybody started coming. It was a really, really exciting time for me, and to see all of that happening. But from there, that's when people begin to seek me out. And so so when those people begin to seek me out, then other opportunities open that I'll talk about as we move along. Yeah.
One thing I want to point out that you did that I love, and I heard Jennifer Lewis say the same thing. Like you said that you knew you wanted to go in this direction, and so you went out and you started a open mic. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you were trying to go after anybody, like, please let me in, please let me sing. You said, you know what, I'll go partner with this club and I'll host my own open mic. Right. And I love that kind of initiative, that kind of, not just waiting for the opportunity, but creating the opportunity. And then it sounds like when you created that opportunity, you found your comrades, you found your people, but they came after you put yourself out there first. After yes. You make that first step, like you make one step, God make two. Then you draw nigh to him, he'll draw nigh to you, but you got to go first.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the truth. That's how
Beautiful.
That's how it happened.
Beautiful. Yeah. Was there ever any conflicts within you? Because I don't know if by this time you were where you are now in your spirituality. Because I can know if you're coming from the church of old, right. I'm pretty sure your secular singing was not looked at as, being good or being in line with right. spirituality. Was there ever any conflicts within yourself to sing secular music?
So there was not so much a conflict within me, but what happened when I began to take those steps, I began to see the conflict in other people rise up, the people who had
Mm.
influence, and that was a really interesting process to see that. And so, but that made me grow because I had to make a decision. Am I going to allow, you know, other people's issues and isms and schisms to stop me from going with what I know is in my gut to do? So yeah, I saw opposition come up in other people. So that was very interesting. That was
I
very
bet it was.
yeah, because I was no longer serving their agenda. You know, like I
Mm.
remember, like, because I'll give you one specific thing. This is real interesting, and there's so much I can say about this. So one church that I was in my early 20s, I was making my exodus out of mainstream fundamental Christianity. So I remember I got into a church that was supposed to have been more progressive and liberal. They, at their gatherings, they listened to secular music and we danced and everything. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. This has set me free. But then I sang at a wedding at the church, and a guest at the wedding saw me. I sang and played, and the guest came to me and said, "I want to hire you to do some studio stuff for me." This older guy, he was like, "Yeah, I'll pay you. I got some jazz stuff. I think you'll be great for it." I'm excited. I'm seeing this as, oh, this is a fulfillment of prophecy for me. This is what God wants for me. Look, I'm here in church, and this is coming to me. And I told the pastor, and they were like, "You want to go do what? Why you want to go do that?" It it was devastating to me. And it was
Yeah.
devastating because I saw a double standard. I wasn't able to identify as a double standard at that point because I was still under their influence and I hadn't fully developed my courage, my identity. Uh, and so I didn't take that opportunity. I missed that opportunity because of what the pastor said at that time. But I learned from that. So the next time that came around, when an opportunity came, I left that church, went to another church, and another opportunity came around. And I let them know I did not let what the pastor said stop me. I still went on. I said, okay, I understand you feel like that, but I'm going to go do this, and I went on and went with my gut. Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Nice, nice. So you went out there and struck it on your own,
yeah,
and you went out there and followed your own heart, your own
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
And I know, and it is a joy to watch you do what you do. I
Thank you.
have, I've sung with you before when you were
Yes, you have.
here. A total love, and we were singing like coffee houses and bars and stuff
Yeah.
like
No,
that, and churches and
it was
whatnot.
great. It
It
was
was
great.
we had a wonderful time, and then I see you on social media now. Are you still hosting the first Fridays in Be More?
Yes.
Is that still
Yeah.
going
First
on this
Friday.
year? Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I put it on hold. The last one I did was for February, so I'm putting it on hold until the spring to
Okay.
revamp it some. But yeah, we're still doing that, and just excited. I have some other projects that are actually in the works as far as some other types of musical expression. So just a lot of things coming up. Album release coming up in May, and so a lot of great things that happen.
Great, great. And that's a good segue into your new music. But before we get there though, I
Yep.
want to, because I know your name on social media is Adrian the Optimist, right?
Mhm.
And optimist is someone who believes in a positive future, holds a hopeful attitude, and often expects favorable outcomes, even
Mhm.
during difficult times.
Yes.
What was it that made you add that to your name? Because it definitely, when I read that and defined it,
Mhm.
it's you.
Yeah.
It's you. Like, I've been following you on social and
Yeah.
whatnot. I've never seen you go off on anyone. I know I have, but I've never seen you go off on anyone. I've never seen you say anything, negative. Even when there are things going on in your own personal life that you probably could say something negative about,
Yeah.
you're always taking the high road. You seem to live this whole optimism thing. Like, when did you, I guess you heard that word and said, I think that's an adjective that I want to
Mhm.
describe me.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the first thing I'll say is, so with IG. you have to, in order to, sometimes your name isn't enough to create your identity on IG. So you got to find something. And so when I thought about the optimist, I'm like, oh, this is absolutely what I am. So I'll use that. So that I use that solely for my social media identification. But yes, it is a reflection of what I strive to live, what I strive to express. And I really appreciate you recognizing that, emphasizing that, and honoring that. Because sometimes people really, sometimes I found that people, when you take a stand, when you take a stand, and when you take a stand, it causes things to come up around you. You find out when you take a true stand for yourself, you find out what's around you. It's a good way to purify your space by taking a real stance about what you want to do. Because I'll say it this way. I think we're in a time with all that's going on in the world. There are a lot of people who say, if you are not making a statement about the challenges that are happening in the world, then you are endorsing them. Your silence is says that you're supporting that, and that I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that we all have a lane. I believe we all have a role. Because oftentimes when things are happening, and I see in the world, I hurt and feel things just like everybody else, but I deal with them in prayer. Like, I have a real strong affirmative prayer life. I really like breathing. Like, every day I have a system of prayer preparation, and I just see it as my role to embody God the best that I can. And so I don't when I any spiritual writing that I study, I don't see any of the great spiritual messengers who joined the party of complaining. None of them did that. And it's not about ego for me. I don't think I'm better, John. And so sometimes I'll be vulnerable. It hurts sometimes when people say that. I'm like, I'm not, I'm not agreeing, but what is it, so sometimes I try to find ways to address publicly the challenges that are going on, but in the way that I can. And so I think that's the challenge. So I think the work for me is to join conversations from my lane. And so
Yes.
I'm learning how to do that. But that optimism thing, I believe in it. And
Yes.
I think too, John, it's because I've experienced so much pain. Yeah. And so people see people like me, they think, he's doing great. Oh, they have no idea. Oh, I've experienced so much pain. That And so I think that's a part of my journey. I think a part of my responsibility is to model, how to walk with that pain until it heals.
Yes.
It's there, but I choose to, as the psalmist said, oh, magnify the Lord with me. So the Lord is divine law. Magnify that. Let's exalt his name. That name means nature. So that's just not for Christians. That's a universal message. It's an affirmation. Oh, make big, magnify, make big what you believe about yourself. Not so much with your words, but in your heart. Make it big. Make it the most important thing. Let's exalt the nature of your good. Let's exalt his name. Name is nature, but let's do it together. And that together speaks to my ability to see the omnipresence of good. And so when I'm doing this not just for me, but to magnify in you, because that's what I believe. Because here's the thing, John, what else do we have? Because if I don't do that, then it's all I see is heartache around me. I'm not going to magnify that. I don't need to. It's what it is.
Right. I
But
love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Ooh, you preaching. You preaching today. I love that. I love that song. I love that. I never heard that scripture are interpreted in that way. Oh,
Yeah.
magnify the Lord with
Make
me,
it big.
meaning
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
enlarge God with me.
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's
Yeah.
make him bigger. Let's make him
Yeah.
bigger than whatever we're going through right now.
Absolutely.
Let's make
Absolutely.
God or them,
Right.
whatever,
Right.
bigger. Source,
Yeah.
universe,
Absolutely.
love. Let's
All
make
of
it
that.
bigger.
That's
Magnify
all God.
love with me.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's all God. All of that. All of that.
I
You
love
can't
that.
go wrong with doing that. That's saying I'm not, and I'm, and not to be dismissive. I'm not going to dismiss what's happening. I'm not going to dismiss. And so I can weep with them that weep. But once I finish weeping, I'm going to find the good. Once after we finish
Yeah.
weeping, I'll be with you while we weep. Okay, but I'm not going to weep forever about it. I got to do something else.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like take a moment, I guess, because I want to just before we get into your music, because I know
Yes.
that somebody could be listening or watching right now and they're saying like, that's easier said than done. They're going through a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, it would be we can't act like there's nothing going on. We cannot
Right.
we can't
Right.
act like there's like the unemployment rate among African Americans are higher than they were before. We
Right.
can't act like ICE is not on the rampage,
Right.
taking people from their homes, and I know people are going through things personally as well, which I think your song fits right into. We're going to get into that. It's going to be all right on your latest project, but what I guess when people are dealing with are having a hard time being optimistic,
Mm-hmm.
having a hard time magnifying the Lord,
Yes.
um, what is because I know Adrian, you're a human, so I know there are some
Yes.
days maybe you get caught off guard, you're not as prayed up as you should be, yada yada. How do you get or encourage people or yourself even to get back to that place?
Sure. And so what I've been doing lately, more of, and therapy has helped me to do this. I Through therapy, and I have a great let me say that I have a great therapist. I have a
Mm,
great therapist. And last year I used three of them, and it was intentional. One, who is a part of my community that I can open up in a different way, and then another one who is a peer. And then when I finished with the peer therapist, I found a therapist who doesn't know me from Adam. I did that intentionally because of some things I needed to walk through, and I'm so glad I did it that way. But therapy helped me to, you know what it did, John? This is powerful. What it did, I believe that when you get a hold of an idea that works for you, that idea blossoms as you grow and as you go along. And the Bible says, "Eye hath not seen, ear hasn't heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man the thing that God hath prepared for those who love him." So sometimes we get an idea and we connect to it, and we don't know what it's going to be, what it's going to do for us, how it's going to show up in our lives. But as we go along and grow along, it becomes revealed what that thing becomes for us. And so I'm saying all that to say this. I've been affirming God is all there is. I do that every day. God is all there is. God is the only presence. God is the only power. And but what happened, I had to learn to really believe that about every facet of life. So even in pain, the pain that I was in, God, the omnipresence of God is in that pain. Not only that, but the omnipresence of God is in that therapist. If I'm led to that therapist, that's God's child. God is in that therapist. So I'm going to get something good out of that therapist. This pain that I'm in, God is in it. So if God is in it, I can engage it. Because there was a time I did not engage the pain. There was a time that I innocently, with good intentions, did dismiss it. I dismissed it with activity. I dismissed it, but I didn't realize I was dismissing it. So through therapy and through my faith helped me to know that God is everywhere. David said, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow, I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me." So sometimes depression and those situations that we go through, they are the valley of the shadow of death. The shadow. There's not really death, it's a shadow
The
of death.
shadow,
And
yes.
death metaphysically, death symbolizes separation. So there are times we go through lives where we feel like we're separate from God, separate from good, separate from love. But that's really not the truth. It's a shadow.
It's a
Because
shot.
and as I walk through it, I realize thou art with me. So I'm saying that's how I get through. Now, oh God, you're with me here. I don't have to be afraid to engage this pain. I don't have to be afraid to say, I'm so sad today. Because I'm not worshiping the sadness, but I'm so sad. And the omnipresence of God always reveals itself to me right there. And when I experienced that for myself, I said, oh, okay. I don't have to run from this. I can be with this pain, and this pain is not here to overtake me. I can see God in it so I can get through it. And so that's what I do now. So when I get those days where I'm down, I get with it. I say, hello, sadness. This is literally what I do. I say, oh, okay. Sadness. Oh, you're here to visit me today. Okay, come on in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I open the door of my come on in. You have something to teach me. I'm going to be a polite host for you. You can't stay, but do what you got to do so you can leave. Anger, you're here
Okay.
today. I engage your anger. You're here today. Okay, I'm angry. I'm angry right now. This is why I'm angry. But come on in. Give me the lesson you got from me. I'll take it all. I'll take it all. I won't discriminate. Come unto me, all ye that labor. Come unto me,
Yes.
all ye that
Yes.
labor. Yeah. So I engage it. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
So I practice. I said all that to say I engage the pain. I engage the challenge because it has a lesson. There's something for me in it. God has something good for me in it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I've heard it said before. What you resist persists.
Yes.
Meaning that,
Yes.
like, right.
Yes.
I know people. Yeah, people feel
Yes.
what you need to feel. Feel the
Yes.
anger. Feel
Yes.
feel the
Yes.
sadness. Feel
Yes.
it. You can feel it. It's
Yes.
okay. You don't have
Yes.
to keep fighting it, because if you fight it,
Right.
you just make it stronger. Just feel it.
Exactly. Feel it.
Feel it.
Yep.
And just you said, and as you feel it, a great
Mm-hmm.
thing that we can now quote, an affirmation that we can quote while we're feeling it, is that God is all there is. I love that.
Yes.
I'm going to take that. So even when
Yes.
I'm feeling sad, when I'm feeling
Yes.
hopeless, know
Yes.
that God is all there is. And it's a
Yes.
shadow of death, honey. You ain't
It's a
dead.
shadow.
It's a shadow. It's a
Shadow.
shadow, and shadows do pass.
They
Shadows do pass.
pass.
Once that light shines, the shadow have to go away.
Right. That's
So
right. That's right.
yes. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Thank you, Pastor Moore, for that. Adrian Moore, Adrian the Optimist, the pastor, all of the musician. And I
Yeah.
love that you are carrying this ministry on, and your latest song from your latest project. Now, the album itself, do you have a title for what this album is
Oh
to be?
yeah.
Is a title?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
what's
for
the title of
asking.
this album?
The title of this new album is Happiness, Hope, and Heartache. I
Three
can't wait for you
H's:
to hear this song,
happiness,
man.
hope,
I
and
went in.
heartache.
Yeah, I went in on this one. It's a very introspective album. Yeah, it's very introspective. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. This was, and I
Happiness,
wrote
hope.
these songs last year when I was going through the stuff that I was going through, and really what happened. So the first therapist, the one who was a mentor, what he told me so powerful. He just went when I was sharing. He said, "Look," he was like, "Listen, you need to write songs about."
Come
I
on.
wasn't doing that. He was like, "You need to." You. He kept telling me, "Right," and so I said, "You know what? Let me sit at this piano, and I'm going to give myself some. I'm going to put it all out in these songs." And I did some of my good writing for this album, John. I'm telling you, man, I went in, Doc. I went in, and I'm very, very, very happy about this album. I'm very, very happy, and I'm looking forward to uh, I'm looking forward to it helping a lot of people. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
so
I mean,
much. Thanks so much for this alchemy that you're doing.
yeah.
Because that's exactly what I see it as, that you
Mm-hmm,
took the pain of that moment, like you
mm-hmm.
said, the happiness, the hope, the heartache, took what you were
Yep,
feeling,
yep,
and you put it into music form. And
yep.
how many instruments do you play? I know you play the keyboard, the organ.
So,
That's it.
so keys, guitar, kalimba. So the West Africans, I love that thing, man. Kalimba and percussion. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
talented, so freaking talented. So
Yeah.
freaking talented.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And so your first single is out and it is titled It's Gonna Be All Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it, Adrian. I was listening to it today, and I had it on repeat. And
Wow.
I don't know if you intentionally made it that way, but it's made where it loops. If you hear it loop around, it goes right back into it. You don't even realize that the song is stopped. Especially if you use
Wow.
like the Apple Music, because it
Yeah.
mixes it together, the
Yeah.
tempo and the beat. It just goes right back to the front. And it goes,
Wow.
and I'm like, did it start over again? And it just, yeah, because it seems to
Wow.
go right back into a loop and stuff.
Really?
I do,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
That's how I heard. I was like, wait, did it start again? But yeah, because it goes
Okay.
right in. Yeah, yeah. You have to try
Wow.
it on if you playing it on Apple Music and just put it like to repeat and see what I'm talking about. It goes right back into it, like really really good. Of course, I heard some of your musical influences. I heard the Michael Jackson up in there. I heard him.
Nice. Nice.
No,
Nice.
he
No,
did
you
it.
caught that.
Of course I caught that. Of course I caught that. I did. I said, no, he did it.
Wait till I tell my producer.
Yes.
That's so funny. That's funny.
Oh, of course I heard that. I heard
Yeah.
that. Like Melanie, Melanie White from Threesome Podcast, she
Uh-huh.
heard it. I let her listen to it as well. Now
Uh-huh.
she quoted somebody that I did not know. I said, I'll ask to see if he did have some inspiration from him. But Gil Scott Heron and
Really?
the Last Poet. You know them?
Really? Yeah, of course.
See, I
She
don't know
said
them.
she heard that influence
That's
in
what
her.
she heard. That's
You
what
know,
she
that
heard.
makes
That's what.
sense to me. Lyrically, when you look at the lyrical pattern of the verses, I can see why she would say that. Wow. Wow,
Mm, that's
interesting.
what she's.
I like hearing
Yeah.
people's experience, how they're experiencing the music. Wow. Nice.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Mixed well. Sounds
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I'll probably throw in it into this recording so that the audience can hear it as well. What I'm
Sure.
talking about. So as we're they'll hear that. But oh my gosh, yeah, it's beautiful and it's gonna
Wow.
be all right. And I think you as well as Jill Scott, y'all have answered the call for what this time needs.
Mm.
Our people need to hear that it's
Hmm.
gonna be all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be all right, no matter
Yeah.
what you're going through. Outside, within this country, within yourself, within your spirit,
Yes.
within your body,
Yes.
whatever it is, it's gonna be all
It'll be all right.
right.
Yeah.
There anything you want to add to that to let people know about this project and everything? Like what? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Well, first, I just want to thank you for this platform and thank you for
Mm-hmm.
your kind words about the music and for really listening, listening and sharing your experience. I'm grateful for all the support thus far for the single. And I'm just really humbled and I'm so excited and in anticipation to hear more of what it's doing for the people. Because this, I've performed it in the public a few times, and it's really catching. The message is catching, the vibe is catching, and so I'm really pleased because that was the reason for this song. It's a song for the time, and so I'm very excited about that. And I want the public to know. Thank you for this opportunity, John, that this song is a reflection of you. Because really, there are many of people walking around, but there's only one. And we are all
Mm.
expressions of each other. So I'm the expression of encouragement of you. So the song is going to be all right. It's coming from you. You called this forth. So because we're one, and that was my role, and that's the message. And I believe that's the joy that people are beginning to experience because it was given in that spirit, in the realization that we're one. So that I'm another part of you, just like the Michael Jackson song from his Bad album, Just Another Part of
Mm.
Me. That was a powerful
Yes.
message. That's the
Yes.
funkiest song on that album.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a power. You're just another part of. That's powerful. But because that's what it is.
Yeah.
But the
Yes.
but the positive and the negative. And I think the more that we understand that, the more responsibility we will take for ourselves when
Yes.
we
Yes.
understand. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Oh
And so
no.
that's what we have to do, take responsibility for ourselves. And because when I'm taking responsibility for me, I'm no longer pointing at you. I'm not trying to change you, but I'm taking responsibility of me. And and that's how we'll find more harmony in the world. It won't be fighting. No, I'm going to look at you. Oh, you're an expression of me. So when you're having a good day, okay, identify with that. If you're having a bad day, then you remind me of the stuff in me that can go off or that could go off. Oh, that's me. I need to straighten that up in me. So when I see you being unfair, I'm saying, oh, somewhere in me, I'm being unfair. I got to deal with that. I ain't gonna look at you and say, stop being unfair. No, I'm gonna go, oh, I need to get this together in me. That yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Come on. Y'all Vincent, she said it where, when you are seeing something in someone that you want to judge or you want to, go at, just ask yourself, what is it about what they're doing that is so familiar to me that
Yes.
I can pick up on it?
Yes.
A lot of the times what we don't like in another person is because it's familiar to us. We know
Yes.
what that feels like and looks like in
Yes.
us.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
is, yeah. So
That's
yeah,
it.
every
That's it.
it all comes back to us.
Yeah.
It all comes back to
That's it.
us. Oh,
Mhm. Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you so
Mhm.
much, Adrian. So
Yeah.
again, people, Apple Music, Spotify, you're everywhere, aren't
Yep.
you?
Yep. 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 All the
You're
platforms.
everywhere. And I think if they just search Adrian, I think Adrian,
Yep.
like
Yep.
that's
Just the one
you're like
word name.
yeah.
Yep.
Yes, all right for
One name.
the one word artist. Go ahead, Adrian. Go ahead. You want to be up there with them. The one word names. Yes. The Cher, the Tina,
Yeah.
Beyonce,
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Right. Right.
Adrian.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. One word.
Love it,
One name.
love it, love it. So what's up next for you? What I know they can go on Apple Music, Spotify, all of that. Type in Adrian to go ahead and save this song. It's gonna be all right. Save this
Yes.
album so that when it drops completely, you'll know it's there. Put your notifications on. Where else can people find you, Adrian?
So of course, IG, Facebook, Threads. I'm on Threads, and of course TikTok and YouTube. So definitely go to YouTube, Adrian
Okay.
the Optimist, my YouTube page, because that's the numbers are really growing there. So please go there
Nice.
and subscribe to my YouTube page, and there's a lot of great content on there as well. Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm so
Oh, and
happy. I'm so.
Substack. If you
What's
go to
up?
Substack too. I don't know if people are
Oh, you're
familiar
on.
with Substack. Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah. Yeah. So go to
You
Substack. You might see Rev. Just pull. I think that's the name of it. Let me see something real quick to make sure I'm giving you the right thing, the right
okay?
moniker.
Go ahead, take your time with that. Yes, I
So
love Substack.
yeah, yep, Rev Adrian Moore. Yep. So if you just type in Reverend Adrian Moore, you can follow me on Substack, and
Nice, you
that's
be
great.
writing
So
over there.
Substack is where I'm doing most of my spiritual writings. So I'm really preserving my social media for music and some motivational things. But if you want to hear my spiritual mind, because I was doing that a lot of that on my page, but you can go to Substack. But I have been for the last 2 weeks going live on Facebook for our Sunday services. Like we're in Zoom, but I'll go live on Facebook and in order to get more traffic and people exposed to what we're doing through Total Impact Church too. So yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, all right, we'll definitely look for you on Substack.
yes,
I encourage people that I am advocating literacy this year. I'm advocating reading this year. That's one thing that I am just personally advocating. So definitely look forward to seeing what you have out there on Substack. What's
Oh,
that?
I forgot one other thing. My ebook. Yes. So I have an
Oh, you have an ebook.
yeah.
Okay.
So I have an ebook you can get through Amazon called Principles of Conscious Living. Yeah. So Principles of Conscious Living is on Amazon. So it's a 5 chapter small. It's a very small ebook, and I want to encourage you if you want to hear about Principles of Conscious Living. It's a very simple read, easy read that people can get and learn more about our church's philosophy. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes, you heard it there first. Ebook, Principles of Conscious Living.
Yes,
Adrian Moore there as well too. They can look for
yes,
Adrian Moore
Reverend
on
Adrian.
Amazon. It should come up. Okay, cool. I want to make
Yep.
sure I put that all in the show notes.
Yes,
So
yes,
if you all see the show notes, you'll have the links to all of that Adrian is talking about. So yeah. All right,
yeah.
Adrian, thank you so much
Thank
again.
you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Like I already knew, I said this is how I wanted to start my Saturday off. You're going to definitely, you have definitely brought joy within my life to today. I'm definitely going to take that magnify the Lord with me
Yeah,
all the way throughout this day. Because yes, we need to magnify the Lord, magnify love, magnify
yep.
peace,
Hmm.
magnify those things. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Adrian. When you
You're
come back
welcome.
down to Atlanta?
Actually, sooner than later. But it'll be somewhere around the summer or before. But yeah, but I'm
Okay,
we gotta go get some sushi, man.
most definitely. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know if that spot is still there. We used to go
Oh,
to
oh, it is. Okay.
Ruson's, right? Ruson's.
Root.
I don't know.
No,
I don't.
Rusan is the big one. No, no. I think it was Rusan's. It was Rusan.
Ruson. We used to go to over on
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Midtown. I don't know if they're
Right.
still there or not.
Oh
I
wow.
don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I have to go over there and see. I haven't had a good sushi in a while, but yeah, we can connect when you get there. All right. Well, thank you, Pastor Moore. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you go out to Apple Music and go flag this album. Make sure you go on social media, look at Adrian the Optimist, so that you can get this inspiration and motivation that Adrian was put in on this earth to be. Okay, he is playing the God within himself and doing his role, answering the call. And we all need to listen and pay attention because we all need it. We need it right now. As that song says, if there ever been a time that we needed the Lord, we sure
Yes.
do need him now.
Need them now.
All right, you all. Bye bye.
Oh God, what's about that? Don't snap in advance. How is this? It's gonna be alright. Keep holding on real tight. Try not to fuss and fight. Keep holding up the light. It's gonna be alright. Keep holding on real tight. Try not to fuss and fight. Keep holding up the light. Walk down the aisle just to say I do. Wake up one day and find out that we're through. Go to my job before the day is done. I find out I need another one. Hey, it's gonna be alright. Keep holding on real tight. Try not to fuss and fight. Keep holding up the light. It's gonna be